Woodward, who will be here tomorrow night, asserts that the war in Iraq has created chaos within the Bush administration and the entire strategy is flawed. In just a few moments, former White House Chief of Staff Andrew Card will speak to that. But there is no question that the mainstream media, no fans of the Bush administration, is running hard with the account. And with poll numbers on Iraq already in a free fall, this is big-time damage. So is Foley's colossal betrayal of his position. The congressman entered rehab today, standard issue. But there's no excusing his inappropriate behavior. The FBI should investigate Foley to the full extent of the law. Now, some believe other Republican leaders knew of Foley's indiscretions. If so, those people should resign right now. Any cover-up of this situation is unacceptable, period. If the Democrat Party was what it used to be, say 20 years ago, there'd be no contest in November. The Dems would win big. But today there is a split in the Democrat Party between traditional Dems and the far-left secular progressives led by Howard Dean and Nancy Pelosi. Ironically, those two GOP haters are actually helping the Republicans. Millions of independent voters realize that if the Dems win the White House, Nancy Pelosi will become the Speaker. Is the USA ready for San Francisco values? Does Nancy Pelosi reflect the attitudes of most Americans? The answer is no, she does not. Traditional Americans in both parties fear the radicalism that Dean and Pelosi embrace. And if you don't believe that, check out my book, Culture Warrior, for proof. Back to follow-up segment tonight, Congressman Mark Foley has entered rehab for alcohol and other issues, but his reputation is shattered and the scandal might grow larger. Joining us now with analysis, Fox News analyst Kirsten Powers here in New York and Michelle Malkin in Washington. Look, the bomb throwers are running around saying, the leadership might have known this, might not. We don't want to get into that. We're going to follow the fact trail here. But as I said in the talking points, Michelle, anybody covering it for this guy's got to resign today. And there is no justification or excuse for this kind of behavior. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely right, of course, Bill. And the whole thing makes me ill. We've got hyper-partisan sniping on both sides, people running to the cameras to point fingers and say that one party was more hypocritical than the other, dredging up past episodes, in some cases not analogous, I think very unfair. And then you've got people all demanding, and in some cases justifiably so, to know who knew what and when. But I think before we get to that point, we have to deal with the mess as it is. And I don't like the excusing that I see from people on my side of Foley's reprehensible behavior.
Yeah, the Foley thing is a week-long story, unless Hassard, the Speaker of the House, or anything like that, is implicated in a cover-up. But it's a tough 1-2 punch this week. So you would say that independent voters, which are going to tell a tale, because Republicans will vote Republican, Democrats will vote Democrat. But independent voters would probably go to the Democratic Party in a month, right? Because there's too much turbulence on the Republican side. That would be the historical, logical thing to do. But there's one huge card here. If you vote for the Democrats, and if they get a majority in the House of Representatives and the Senate, guess who's the Speaker of the House? Nancy Pelosi, who is a far-left secular progressive bomb thrower. So you bring to America San Francisco values. Now, most independent Americans, I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, don't want San Francisco values at the top of the political food chain. So you go, whoa, what are my choices? A confused and dazed Republican Party or San Francisco values? It's really a dilemma. Okay, let's bring in Karen Henready. She's a Republican strategist out in Sacramento, California. And, as I said, Karen, this is the worst day I've seen from the Republican Party in years. Do you disagree?
This is really awful. Worst day in years. I think we've had some pretty bad days over the past few years. But this is, I think you said that this is going to be a 1-week story.
The Foley story.
I don't think so, Bill. I think this story is going to go on for weeks and weeks.
Only if there are higher-ups that covered it. Yeah, but the story disappears in a week unless some big Republican fat cats tried to cover it up. Now, if that's the case, then you're dead. I mean, they'll just nail whoever that is to the wall. So I'm going to say tonight on radio and television, if anybody did that, they've got to just fess up and resign right now.
Well, look, I'll tell you right now, if that is the case, I'm not sure it is. If it is, then the entire Republican leadership will have to be overturned.
Because people are basically saying, listen, we don't want the Democrats so much as we're tired of you guys screwing up. And, I mean, that's what it's all about. The only caveat is the San Francisco values thing. Now, if I were Republicans, I'd be making a big deal out of it. I'd be saying, well, look, maybe we haven't been the greatest, but look what's over the horizon.
Well, I tell you what, here's the ultimate irony of that. San Francisco values. You know very well, because you've interviewed some of these people, San Francisco politicians are some of the biggest, if not the biggest, defender of sexual predators in the nation.
I don't know if you can make that argument, though, on a national basis when you got Foley.
San Francisco politician. You know, I'll tell you something. You've got politicians who do out and out defend sexual predators, who go out of their way to kill legislation that would